Tracy Lee Davis, founder of ZingPop Social, turns busy small business owners into online marketing rock stars. A social media expert and certified solution provider for Constant Contact, she coaches entrepreneurs in how to grow their business using social media and provides total management for their email marketing campaigns.
Tracy Lee is also a featured speaker for associations and business groups. She is Alignable's 2021 Local Business Person of the Year for San Jose, a certified content marketing strategist, and the co-owner and vice president of the Women's Networking Alliance. And she also really, really loves cheese.
So Tracy and I are going to get along very well. Welcome, Tracy.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here.
All right, let's get going. That's my excited voice.
Excited voice, Doug. Use it.
Yay.
Smile. So Tracy, you're used to interaction and coaching from a wide variety of small businesses. So what's your impressions of resellers or sellers as small business owners?
Well, so the clients who I spend the most of my time working with they tend to be usually home-based, service-based businesses.
Okay.
And so I have gotten exposed to a lot more sellers because of my association with eBay, which is delightful. And the thing that I feel is what I have noticed is a big difference between my service-based clients and my retail-based clients is that the retail and resale folks aren't as open. And again, this is my limited view, aren't as open to sharing about themselves as much. And it's more about, these are my products, this is what I have to sell, let's focus on that, as opposed to, hey, there's a real person behind these products. You know, I am curating these things and putting everything together, and there is a human being who is doing all this stuff and packing up your items that you've purchased. And so that, I think that's one of the biggest differences between my service-based and the resale-based folks.
Why should resellers consider a social media presence?
Well, in this day and age, it is basically being somewhere on social media is a necessity. If you are trying to sell things on the internet, then you need to be able to be found on the internet. So, of course, you want to have a website and you want to have a presence on Google in general, but having a place where people can go and easily browse through your offerings, where they can learn more about you, get some supplementary information to go with whatever you have on your website. It's just a really good idea. Give people more of an opportunity to connect with you.
Okay.
I can definitely feel that. That is hard. Everything that you've said up to this point, I can totally relate. As the at-home single seller, it's very hard to crack that shell. And when we talk about social media and home-based or reselling businesses, how should sellers market themselves? Like, I know you just touched on it a little bit, but should I be saying, this is my product, buy it. This is my product, buy it. I'm shy, don't worry about me. This is my product, buy it. Or should we just market me? Or both?
I love that question. And here's the way I feel about things. And I'm going to preface this with a caveat that if you are doing something one way and you're killing it and it's going really well, then if I'm telling you to do something different, then pay no attention to me, because you clearly have a good system going. But if things aren't going as well as you'd like, then I would say perhaps listen to my advice. So with that in mind, I think that especially when you're dealing with products, if you're dealing with something that you don't personally make, and so you know that, okay, this is a one of a kind or an exclusive thing that you can only get through me. If you're selling, you know, shoes or handbags or whatever that you can buy anywhere or at a variety of other places, it's not exclusive, then I say, what's setting you apart? You know, if you are selling the same thing that another company is selling, and if it's the same item and it's the same price, essentially, who cares, right? I'm
Right.
It doesn't matter who I'm buying from. It's just whatever's most convenient. But if you infuse your personality and your humanness into your online presence, so I get to know you better, I'm going to be far more likely to shop with you because I like you. And so I want to buy that pair of shoes or that bag or that t-shirt or whatever from you because I like you. And I think that is a big missed opportunity for a lot of sellers that are selling non-exclusive products, because, you know, we want to connect. We want to feel like we're part of something bigger than ourselves. And, you know, if you're just one of 18 people who are selling the same thing, how are you going to stand out and stand apart?
So
I love that.
Yeah. Building like a personal brand.
That's right.
And so we've been talking about sellers and your advice to sellers. So you've done a lot of this for eBay. So you've been on the eBay for Business podcast several times. You participated in 3 eBay opens. So tell us about that, what you did, and how that all came about.
Oh,
And your
how
favorite
it all.
part of it.
Ooh, okay. I'm so excited. All right. So how this all came about is actually what I won Alignable Small Business Storyteller of the Year for San Jose for 2019 because of my story of how I got connected to eBay. So
oh my gosh.
I am a SCORE class instructor. So I'm in San Jose. So at the Silicon Valley SCORE, I have been teaching classes for them in marketing for social media, email, since November of 2015. So every month I teach a class for them. And because I have this relationship with them, there was this big event happening in downtown San Jose one year, 4 or 5 years ago at this point. And the guy who they had lined up to be a presenter about social media had to bail at the last second. And since SCORE was helping put this event on, they brought me in. They're like, hey, you know, we had this last minute opening. We really need someone to present about social media. Are you available? And I was like, heck yes, I am. And so I got paired up with Tracy from eBay and a really nice gentleman who I can't remember what his name was, but at Kiva, they do the small business loans. And then I was talking about social media. So we did a joint presentation together. And, you know, I got to talking with Tracy or Audrey. I'm Tracy. Got to talking with Audrey and just clicked with her. She's so much fun. And so then she reached out to me a few weeks or a month later asking if I would be interested in collaborating with eBay. And I was like, yeah, sure would. Thanks. So then led to me being invited to go to eBay Open the first year, which I went in 2017. And so I that year I was part of the there was a social media lab in the big general open vendor area. So I not only did a couple of presentations, but I basically hung out at some tables all day long and answered people's questions about social media and marketing. So that was the first year. The second year that I went back, which was 2018, I got paired up with this one guy. His name is Doug. And we then did some joint presentations. We actually did 5 presentations over the course of 2 days, all about social media. And I would like to say that I believe every single one of those sessions were sold out, you know, standing room only by the end of it, because Doug and I make a great team, even though I will fully admit that I was a bit reluctant to be paired with him at the beginning because I didn't realize how rad he was then. But I met him and I was like, wait a minute, this dude is great. So that was second year. And then third year, which was 2019, that time I did, I can't remember what they were called, but they were little like table topics, conversations that were happening in between other sessions. And they were, again, back in that big open room with all of the vendors and everything. And I had some conversations about email marketing at that time. So it's interesting that every year I've done something completely different. And it was great. So yeah, did 3 eBay opens and I believe 3 podcast episodes.
Yes.
Yeah, that eBay Open 2018, I was one of the lucky souls that actually got a seat to listen to Tracy and Doug talk. So I met both of you at the same time on the stage.
Yay.
Pretty much. You don't know that we knew each other, but we knew each other.
Oh, we're
and
old
I
friends
will say,
now.
Of course, I'm pretty sure my Instagram account got started right after that session. It didn't get used for a year or a while, but I did start a little bit of social media, and that really motivated me. There was so much information in that my brain was overwhelmed, and I'm so glad that I got to go back and watch some videos.
Yeah.
One of my things that I walked away with was I didn't even realize there was as much social media as there actually is. So with so many social media challenges out there, what do you think your best advice for small business owners, and I'm just going to say it, small business owners, I'm just going to say resellers, to get started on? So if somebody like me that I don't have any social media presence for my business, what would be a good way to start?
I love that question too. You're asking a bunch of good ones. So
I've been in the shoe before. I know.
Yeah. So the big thing is that there are so many platforms out there. There are so many options, and it can be incredibly overwhelming. So the big thing I would say is, one, you do not need to be on every single platform out there. You don't.
Thank you.
You are welcome. I am giving you permission to only be on one.
Thank you.
And so then what I would say in regards to picking that one is, if you are equally not experienced with any social platforms, then I would say figure out where your ideal target audience is going to be hanging out. So if you do your research, which you absolutely should do your research, if you do your research and you figure out, okay, great, my target market, they hang out on Pinterest, then you want to start a Pinterest channel. If they hang out on Instagram, you're going to go there, etc. Mm-hmm. Because that really, ultimately, you need to be where your audience is. That just made me think of Little Mermaid. You want to be where the people are, right? So you want to be in the place where you are most likely to get found by your ideal target audience. Now, if you already have a presence on a particular platform and you just really love it, like you love being on Facebook or you love being on Instagram, even if you haven't necessarily done your research, which you absolutely should still do, if you are on that platform and you're comfortable with it and the idea of learning a whole nother platform seems overwhelming, fantastic. Stick with that platform that you know. Because if something new is really difficult, you're probably going to be less inclined to do it, to do whatever you need to do to learn how to use it. So you want to make your life as easy as possible. Stick with what you know, or if you have to learn something new, then you absolutely, I would say, start with wherever your ideal client hangs out.
Which is why my Instagram stayed blank for a year, because I was so intimidated by it. I think that first year I grew like 100 followers, which by any set of standards is not well for a business.
Hey, but you got 100 followers.
But I got 100 followers. So I know that every social media platform is different, right? Is there any, I don't want to say generic because I feel that that's undercutting the word, but is there any blanket instructions or guidance to having somebody build their following on the platform that they choose?
Well,
it sounds like a hard one, I know.
The big thing here, and that I think a lot of people forget about, because, okay, let me back that up a little bit. it is absolutely acceptable to make money through social media. Like, promote yourself, sell stuff, rock on. You are in the business to make money. So don't worry about that. I mean, obviously you can worry about that. But the big thing here is that, oh my gosh, where was I going with this? Oh, so you're in the business to make money, but you don't want to lose sight of the fact that social media is about being social. So many people treat their social media like it's a billboard and they're just advertising stuff, as opposed to a platform that is supposed to be social, that is supposed to be something where you are engaging with people. And so many people are like, I've been on Facebook for years and I post stuff and I never get anything. And then I go and I look at their page, and I'm sorry, realtors, but this happens all the time with realtors. They say, I've been posting all the time and I'm always active, but I never get anything. And then I go and I look at their page and all they're doing is listing their properties for sale and their open houses. That's it. Open houses and their listings. Who cares? If I'm not actively looking for a house right this minute, and I already have a great relationship with that realtor and I know I want to use them, I could care less about the stuff that they're posting. And, bringing it back into that, humanizing it and getting people to know you, you want to let your personality shine through so that you can really develop that relationship. So again, getting back to being social, it's not just about pushing out all of your content. It's about getting engagement back and giving it back to them. So, you could be, at the end of the day, laying on your couch in your sweats, eating a bag of chips, scrolling through Instagram. People don't need to know that that's what you're doing when you're responding to their comments and questions. As far as they're concerned, you are at your desk wearing your suit and, responding to people and very professional. But it makes people feel important when you engage back with them, because you are a business, you're a brand, you're exciting and successful and amazing. Even if you don't feel that way, you are a big deal to your audience. And so by not giving them the opportunity to interact with you like that, you're missing really the whole point of social media. I mean, there absolutely are some people out there who get on social media specifically to be sold to. The vast majority of people are not like that. So I think that's a big mindset shift for a lot of people who are business owners. It's not about us. It's about our audience. It's all about our audience and posting for them. And I think a lot of people lose sight of that.
You mentioned laying on the couch in your sweats, eating chips. Nobody knows what you're wearing. So you do this ZingPop in your PJs.
That's right.
You're in your PJs. So tell us about that.
Well, so I created a membership platform, and I wanted to have a way that I could help more people who didn't have the budget to work with me one-on-one. So I created this small group membership program, and I don't exactly remember where my inspiration came from, but I meet on Friday mornings at 8:30. And so I call it ZingPop in your PJs. So you don't have to, get dressed if you don't want. You can just be in your PJs. We meet on Zoom, have your cup of coffee or tea or whatever you drink in the morning, and let's just get to work and talk about marketing. And for a while, because people come and go and, cycle out of the program, which is, expected, totally fine. But for a while, I had a group of people who often would show up in their PJs. Like I literally did all the time and I still do. But they specifically would be wearing their robes. One of my members, she had an M&M robe and she would always wear that. It was just so delightful. So ZingPop in your PJs, that's what that's all about.
Do you say pajamas or pajamas?
See, now you should just have asked me without tainting my brain. Pajamas. That's what I say.
All right.
Not pajamas.
Okay. Tomato.
Pajamas. I don't know. Maybe I do say pajamas. See, you should have just spelled it out and say, how do you pronounce that?
What do you say?
PJs. PJs.
Yeah, I just say PJs.
I don't have time.
Jammies.
Jammies.
Jammy jams.
Yes. I love that aspect of just being able to do that and just meet really quick.
It's really casual, and but everybody, I love it because everybody goes around and introduces themselves and they say who they are, where they're from, what their big burning question of the week is, and then I just go around and answer everybody's questions. It's great.
Can I ask my big burning question of the week? If I were to be in your group and in my PJs,
yes,
not my pajamas or jammies, my PJs. I was just thinking back to the answer to your last question, and I have a couple of people that I follow in mind that do this very well, and I didn't realize how well they did it until you were explaining it to me. And I struggle with social media. I really do. But is there some golden rule of you need to post every day, you need to post 3 times a day, everything needs to be curated and on a purple background, or I don't know. I just know some people that do it really well and none of them fit into the same box.
Got it. So there are, again, if what you're doing is working really well for you, keep doing it. But my suggestion is if you have a smaller page, if you are under 10,000 followers on any platform, Pinterest is the exception. So I'm going to say like Facebook and Instagram. If you have under 10,000 followers, posting once a day is totally sufficient. And in fact, Instagram, I think, is really, well, both Facebook and Instagram, since they're owned by the same company now, are definitely more interested in the quality versus quantity of your posts. So, if you're a smaller page, don't knock yourself out trying to post 4 times a day, because it's just not necessary. If you have a huge page and you have tons of followers and they're really active and engaged, then give the people what they want and post more stuff. But for folks who are just starting out, if you are hearing people saying, oh, you got to post, 3 times every day, and that's just like, oh, I can never do that, and so I'm just not going to do anything. Don't do that. Just once a day is totally fine. And I mean, honestly, if you don't post every single day, it's not going to be the end of the world. But what's important is consistency. Regardless of how frequently you're posting, be consistent about it, because that absolutely is something that the algorithms, like, that's part of the whole algorithm secret sauce on all of the different platforms out there, is that they are aware of who is active and who is not. And basically, if you're posting consistently, you're signaling to that platform, hey, I'm taking this seriously. I'm playing the game. So you want to make sure that you're showing up. If you're not posting, then you're not giving people the opportunity to interact with your content. If people aren't interacting with your content, then the platform's like, well, who cares about these people? Nobody cares about their content. It's not relevant. So then it's just nobody sees your content. So you have to post stuff so that people can engage with it, so that signals to the algorithm that your content is relevant, so that it gets shared with more people. Like, it's this big, grows on itself, but posting is the place to start. So you've got to do it and be consistent. Now, as far as if it's curated or if it's original content or what have you, I am a big fan of having a mixture of both. So sharing original content, sharing curated content, because honestly, I've got other stuff to do with my life. And so creating original pieces of content every single time I post just isn't always feasible for me. So having a cache of great content that I can share from other sources not only makes my life easier, but it also showcases the fact that I'm paying attention to other things about my industry. I'm paying attention, I'm reading the blogs of other industry thought leaders, and I am sharing that with my audience so they don't have to go and collect that information themselves. So it makes me look more knowledgeable, and it makes it easier for me to get content out because I don't have to write all the blogs that I share. So there's that.
So what's the balance between doing it yourself, hiring somebody, or doing a combo? How do you make that decision whether to hire somebody to manage it for you, or should you even do that?
So I think that it really depends on the social media manager that you find. And I will say this, and I will always back this up. Getting a good social media manager most likely is not going to be cheap. I have had numerous conversations with people who were like, I want to have a social media manager. I don't have time. I don't want to do this. I just want someone else to do it for me. And I have someone who I recommend, who I actually met at the first eBay Open. And so her company does social media management, and I have recommended her a number of times to people. And, at one point I asked her, just so that I'm not sending you a bunch of garbage referrals, what's the minimum investment someone would need to be able to make in order for them to work with you? And for her, it's $800 a month. And so many people are like, oh no, I was going to pay like $100 a month. It's like, well, good luck if you can find someone that's willing to post every day for $100. And I'm sure it's going to be crap,
Right.
because a social media manager, in order to do you justice, needs to understand your business. And so that's going to take time. It's either going to take a lot of your time, or it's going to take a lot of their time. And so I think that there are plenty of really great social media managers out there, but you're not just paying for their time. You're paying for their expertise, all of the training that they've done, all of the learning that they've done, all of the mistakes that they've made and that they've learned for them. So it's not just that hour of time, it's all of the experience that they've had in the past. And so it's like, oh, well, I can just do it myself. Yeah, you sure can. Is it going to be as good as someone who's been doing this for years? So, there's that trade-off, of course. And I think that a good social media manager is worth it. And a lot of the business owners who I work with, my ideal target, generally don't have the funds for that. And so that's why I teach people how to do it themselves. Certainly, if you get to the point where your business is really big and it's booming, then it makes sense to have somebody else managing your social media, because you've got other stuff to do. And so generally, if your business is going really well, you have the funds to hire a good social media manager.
So for beginners, what is the one piece of advice to get started?
Oh, well, we talked about this briefly before we started officially doing the podcast, and that is literally just get started. Because so many people, especially when they're first starting their business and they're first getting aligned, they want everything to be perfect. And so they get really hung up like, oh, my cover photo isn't perfect, or, oh, I need to tweak my little intro more, and it's not exactly how I want it. And, oh, I don't like that, or my website's not done. Who cares? Just get started. Because if you wait for things to be perfect, you're going to be waiting forever. And the beauty of just getting started is that you don't have any followers. And so nobody's going to see it if you're messing up. And you can fix it and learn from your mistakes and go on and just move on with your life. So just get started. I work with so many people who are just getting started. Like one of my clients yesterday, we launched his Facebook page, and it was just very exciting. And he was so nervous, and he'd already done a lot of the work, and it looked great. And we had a few things to tweak, sure. But if he had published it without me there, it still would have been fine. But he was so nervous, and it was very sweet. And we got it launched, and his first post did really, really well. So, it's just get started. People constantly are overthinking their social media. It's not rocket science. You just need to get out there and start doing it.
Just do it.
Just do it. I think that's a slogan already.
Yes. We have to pay a price for that.
Damn it. Sorry.
So, and when you do start up, so there'll be some temptations out there. So what's your opinion of some of these temptations, like buying followers, fake comments and reviews, or things like that? A lot of people do it and they grow themselves, but
don't do it, because here's the big thing. Like on Facebook, you absolutely can buy likes for your page. You know, you probably can do that on every single platform that has advertising available. Don't do it, because what you want on your page, having 1 million followers, sure, that's great. It looks nice, it's pretty, but it's a vanity metric. It is not a good, what's the word I'm looking for? And it's not a good indicator of the health of your page. I would so much rather have 100 people following me who are rabid fans and interacting with my content than 1 million people who don't care about anything I post. And you know, it's interesting, at the 2018 eBay, after one of our sessions, I don't remember who he was, but someone came up to me and was like, "Oh, you don't really have a whole lot of followers on Instagram." It's like, yeah, but all of those, you know, 900 people who I have all know me, they all like me, and they interact with my stuff. I don't care about having pumped up numbers just so that it looks like, oh, you know, I've got 25,000 followers. Who cares if they're not interacting with me? So that, don't get caught up in those vanity metrics. Really focus on, this is here, regardless of what your business goal is, your social media goal should be engagement. Everything that you're working towards should be getting actual, genuine, authentic engagement. So when you buy likes, those are people who the algorithm has indicated will most likely like a page, but they aren't necessarily people who will like your content. So you're not buying real fans. What's far more, a much smarter way to go is, instead of doing a campaign to buy likes, is doing an engagement campaign. So if you're going to be putting money behind something, get people to be interacting with the posts that you already have up. So on Facebook, for example, if you go into your ads account and you do an engagement campaign, so you are effectively boosting a post, but don't do it from your page, do it from the ad side of things, because you have so much more that you can control. You can do an engagement campaign, and then that will get your post out through your targeting to the people that the algorithm also it has a high likelihood of them interacting with your post. Great. So they like it, they comment on it. Hopefully they even share it. But when people like your posts, or when they react to your posts on Facebook, you can then invite those people to like your page. So you're getting in front of your right audience. You are getting in front of people who are likely to engage. And since they've already engaged with your post by liking it or loving it or whatever, they've already interacted once. So then you invite them to like your page, then they do it, and then they continue interacting with your content. So so much more effective to put money into engagement rather than page likes.
So it's quality over quantity.
That is correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love that. The wheels in my head are just spinning, like all the possibilities. And I hope that our listeners have the wheels spinning for their social media too.
Yeah.
Like you said, you know, I'm a small seller. I don't have $800 to pay somebody. At one point, when I do grow my business bigger, I may need some coaching and pay for that. For anybody listening right now, I follow you on social media. So I know different ones. I know what my favorite ones are, all of them. But where can sellers follow you to get a little bit of that free content and see what you're doing for them to emulate?
Well, I am on Facebook, Instagram, Alignable, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And I actually just started a Pinterest account, but it's garbage so far because I haven't had a chance to really put a whole lot into it. So don't look at that one. Pretend I didn't say it. But on all of those platforms, you can find me at ZingPop Social. I try to make it really easy. That's my website address. So Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, what else did I say? Instagram, all of those things at ZingPop Social, and you can find me. And I try to give out a lot of great tips. I share all sorts of different content on the different platforms and just really try to be helpful wherever I am showing up for people.
Well, it is. I think, well, I love all the platforms. I try and be on some, but I think recently, and I think this is probably, I know anybody listening is like, Liz, shut up. We know. LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn.
What about TikTok, Tracy Lee Davis?
All right. Here is how I feel about TikTok. It is a fun platform, and I really enjoy watching people's videos. I personally do not have the bandwidth to learn another one for business purposes. Just like I was talking about at the very beginning, that we don't need to spread ourselves too thin and be on every single platform out there. I very much feel that way about TikTok for me personally. I think it is a really awesome platform that has catapulted people into major stardom. And like there's a dentist. Have you heard about the dentist on TikTok?
Yes.
Like he was an early user, and his business has increased, like, I don't know the percentage, but it's just like crazy exploded because he got on TikTok really early and started doing all of these fun videos. So it can be a really amazing platform. It's just not one that I personally use. And that's because I don't have that many hours in the day.
Okay, so I'm going to bring it back around to what Liz said. She asked you, where can people find you? What are the resources you have? And then you also do paid resources. So what's some of the paid stuff that you do?
Indeed, because I too enjoy making money for what I do, which again, everybody should be happy to make money doing something that they love. So I'm a social media coach. So I do one-on-one or small group sessions helping people learn how to do all of this stuff. So typically the first appointment that I have with anybody, we're doing a refresh on whatever platform that they of their choice. So let's say we start off with Facebook. We'll spend a session going through optimizing their page, because I very strongly believe that no matter what platform you're on, that platform needs to be optimized. It needs to be filled out completely. You need to have all of the bells and whistles on it. And there are so many things on Facebook that the average business owner has no idea that these things exist. So we go through, update your Facebook page, get that all ship shape. And then after that, we will work on really whatever the client needs the most, whatever they feel they need the most. If they don't know what they need, then I will tell them what I think they need. But there are people who are like, great, I really want to promote my events. So we'll work on event promotion. Or I really want to work on building up my brand. Great, that's what we'll work on. But through all of this, I talk about what sort of content they should be posting. So I help them come up with campaigns to be sharing on their social channels. I help them just learn how to do the posts, because there are a lot of things that you can do to optimize a post that people don't necessarily know they should be doing. So I help them with the mechanical side of the platform as well as the content side of the platform. So that's my social media coaching that I offer. And then I also offer email marketing management, and I'm happy to coach people on email as well. So if you want me to go basically over all of that sort of same stuff that I do with social media, but with email, happy to do it. What I have found is that people hate email marketing even more than they hate social media. And email is so important for small businesses and can be such a huge way to bring in revenue. So with that, I will get people set up with their accounts. I am a Constant Contact partner, so I always recommend Constant Contact. I think they are a fantastic company. They have, along with email marketing, they have landing pages, so you can have all of your funnels. They have surveys and events, and now they have a really cool e-commerce platform that has all sorts of crazy automations on the back end. So you can send people emails based on things that they've clicked on, so it's crazy impressive. It's a brand new product. So, they have all of these automation tools, whether you're the e-commerce pro or not. It's an outstanding tool. So I will, and just like people don't know how to necessarily set up their Facebook pages, people don't always know how to set up their email account. So I will get that all set up, basically take you from not having anything to getting your first email out the door. So I'll set up the account, set up their lists, create a welcome email for them so that when people use all of the various list join tools that I create, they immediately get an email welcoming them into their community, and then get that first email out. And now my intention with my Jumpstart is that once I'm done, my clients will be in a position where they can just copy the campaign, change out the content, they're good to go. But often after I do a Jumpstart for people, like 3 or 4 months down the line, they're like, hey, I haven't sent a single email since you sent that. So could you do that for me? I got you. Yeah. So I will set up their account and I will manage it for them ongoing, going forward. And I love doing it. I have so much fun. I really enjoy creating emails, and I recognize that that's weird and so many people hate it. But that's the great thing, is that you find someone who loves to do the thing that you hate and you pay them to do it so that it's taken off of your plate and you don't have to worry about it.
Yes.
and so those are my main offerings. I mean, there are, I have done a variety of little odds and ends for people, but those are social media coaching and email marketing management. That's my stuff. I have some digital products, ebooks and planners, and I have some courses, but they're all around social media and email.
Nice.
And that's what I offer.
All right.
Love it. I saw this next question, but so my next question will be about the local women's networking alliance. But you're like co-founder or president, right?
I am the co-owner and vice president.
Co-owner,
so
vice president.
Women's Networking Alliance actually started 14 years ago this month. So June 2007. And was launched by a woman named Debbie Quintana, and she used to live in San Jose. Now she lives in Arizona. And so she started this up because she had gone to a bunch of networking events and was just really underwhelmed with the whole experience. And she wanted something that was just more genuine and real, instead of this, oh, hey, I'm at a networking event. Here are my business cards. Here, you want to, buy my thing. So this is much more, it's small groups. So I joined in November of 2013. So I have been a member for whatever that is, 7 years at this point. And so I joined right before I started my business. And my very first client was a member of WNA. She was in my chapter. So that was really exciting, like a good little boost of getting my business started. And between doing presentations and being a part of Women's Networking Alliance, this has made the biggest difference in my business. And I have grown so much because of it. So I cannot more strongly recommend that people find a networking group to join that focuses on building relationships. So at this point, WNA, we have 12 chapters. Most of them are in, 9 of them are in the Bay Area. So from Oakland down to Morgan Hill. And then we have 2 chapters in Arizona, in the greater Phoenix area, the West Valley area. And then we have a virtual chapter. So if there's some woman out there who wants to be in a networking group, come join our virtual chapter. It's been so fabulous. And I've met so many wonderful people, and not just for people using my services, but my massage therapist, my chiropractor, my bookkeeper, my accountant, like everybody, if I need a service, I go to someone in the Women's Networking Alliance first. I will always work with those folks first. And I've just made so many good friends. Like some of my just dearest, closest friends are people who I have met through WNA. Because when you are a small business owner, especially if you are a home-based sole proprietor, I don't have peers that I can go and talk at the water cooler and catch up on stuff going on in the day. So being able to meet with these folks every 3 weeks. And again, there's small groups. So, no more than 20 or so people, depending on the size of the meeting area. Of course, everything's online right now, but,
Right.
I go and meet with them every 3 weeks. And so as a brand new business owner, it was so valuable to me because I got to talk to this room of all of these amazing, fierce business owners who'd already done all this stuff. And so I could ask them questions. And then for me, coming from my background of, I was the director of operations for a small business that we had 3 locations. So we had 3 locations, 50 staff, 10 contractors, thousands of clients. So I was able to bring that to share with them and talk about, payroll and, EDD stuff. And, so it's great that we can support each other. We can educate each other and just have fun together. So I cannot more strongly recommend to people finding a great networking group to help build your business, because that's going back to building relationships through social media. People want to work with people who they know, like, and trust, and getting to know people, regardless of whether it's on social media or through networking or however, you're building that relationship, and people will want to support you if they know you and you have something that they need. So don't keep it from people. Get out there.
Did that answer your question, Liz?
Yes, thank you,
I
Doug.
hope so.
Yeah, you ask me a question, I'll just start talking, and who knows?
I love
what's gonna
it.
come out of my mouth.
I love it. Like I said, I just get so, like, my brain starts going. I'm like, yeah. Oh wait, we're interviewing.
Yes.
No, that's
Drifted off.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So, just to get serious for a minute, I don't want to make you uncomfortable. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but we know you like cheese and nachos.
Indeed.
So where did this cheese and nacho obsession come from?
I can't say that I've always loved cheese, because I'm pretty sure I was a very picky little thing when I was younger. But I have always, as far as I can recall, I have always loved cheese, and I've always loved nachos, because back in the day when I was little and picky, the only thing, can't believe this is the story I'm telling. The only thing that I would eat at Taco Bell was nachos.
Oh.
Like the little cup of sauce and the chips, not even like with the beans and tomatoes and stuff, just the sauce and the chips. So that was my gateway into nachos and cheese, I suppose. And now, nachos are so good. Oh, I love them so much. And I'm probably going to DoorDash some tonight after this.
Nice.
And of course, Doug, you are my favorite person to eat nachos with.
Thank you. That's very kind. We've had some good nachos in the past.
Oh, we have.
Who's got Luna? The best? Yeah, that was good. Is that the one? That's our fave?
Well, Lulu's is the place that we always would go, but Luna is the one that the nicer restaurant that we went to. They have really, they clearly make their chips in-house, and they're so good. Yeah.
Next level nachos.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we will notch again one day. Maybe we can bring Liz.
Ooh, I love that idea.
If I am worthy enough, I would love to have nachos with the two of you.
Because I think you're nacho worthy.
I love nachos. Please nacho. Please let me nacho with you.
Okay.
Tracy, this has been super fun and super informative. I know that our listeners are going to walk away from this episode hitting their keyboard, getting on their phone, and upping their social media game. Would you like to add anything before we close out this interview?
Nope.
Yeah, that's her thing. Nope, I've covered everything.
I was so delighted to see that question, and I was like, oh God, I hope Doug remembers that, because that happened I think it was the last time that I was doing a podcast for eBay.
That's why he gave me that one.
Nope. I'm
Yeah,
good.
it's like, anything to add? She goes, nope. And I go, I mean, I don't want to brag, but this is eBay. It's a big company, big podcast. Anything?
I
Still nope.
absolutely planned on saying something else, but I just thought it was really funny, and so it was great. Anything else to add? Well, basically, I love helping small business owners figure all this stuff out. I get that it is confusing, it's overwhelming, stuff changes all the time. So if you need help, if you're struggling, I would be delighted to help you. So again, I do one-on-one coaching, and I have my membership. So if you don't think that you can make the one-on-one coaching work with me, my group membership, you get 4 hours of my time every month for $100. So that's a pretty darn good deal. And I also have a free level of my membership. So basically, like, if you need help, reach out to me. We can do a discovery session, see if I actually can help you, because I'm very honest with people. If I feel like I can't help them, I'm not going to string them along. The great thing about doing what I do, and the fact that I'm in Women's Networking Alliance, is I have a ton of great connections to people. So if I can't help you, I most likely know someone who can. But my big passion is helping people just figure this stuff out. So that's what I'd like to say.
All right. And you can find Tracy at zingpopsocial.com. Social media and email help, ebooks and on-demand videos, group memberships, live events, free stuff, cool videos, email newslists, all that. So thanks.
Thank you. This was a delight.
It was fun. Liz, anything, Liz?
Yeah, I was just waiting for and thank you again, Tracy. Nope. Nothing.